Ellie Goulding. Oh my goodness me. Ellie Goulding sound, you hear it, you're like, Ellie Goulding! Kia ora and welcome. My name is Zoe Stibi and I'm your vocal coach for today, because today we're going to be taking a look at Ellie Goulding with My Blood. Ellie Goulding is just such an amazing singer and she has such a distinct voice. As soon as you hear one of her tracks, you're like, oh, it's Ellie Goulding. What's she up to now? I don't know what she's been up to for the past couple of years, but it's so nice to see her back performing. So we're going to be taking a look at what she's doing with this song and what she's actually doing with her vocal technique to create these sounds and how you can make them at home. So let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique.
It doesn't go away, just need and I want 1,000 miles to prove it. And I'm caught in the crossfire of my own thoughts. The color of my blood is all I see on the rocks as you.
Oh my goodness me, there is so much going on in this song, like with the orchestra and then her voice and the lyrics. Oh, they're just so beautiful. Let's go back a little and look at that again so we can hear a slightly higher, brighter timbre, okay? So if you've ever heard Ellie Goulding speak, then she speaks with a slightly lower spoken voice than what we're hearing here. And so the way in which that's created is with a higher larynx. And I know, and da 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 da. So with that higher larynx position, bringing the tongue into a higher position, that's a way that we can create a brighter sound.
That feeling that doesn't go away, just need and I want 1,000 miles to prove it. And I'm caught in the crossfire of my own thoughts. The color of my blood is all I see on the rocks as you sail from me. A love so real for eternity.
Oh gosh, she's just a fabulous singer, isn't she? So you might have noticed there that her head was coming slightly forward with that profile there. Now, don't go thinking that if you know, at Ellie Goulding's level, she can pretty much do that because her body is so used to singing that it is going to be able to just align all of those muscles beautifully for her. So don't go thinking just because Ellie Goulding's doing it that you can go and doing it as well. Okay, I want you to think about the shoulders back and down. You can lift your arms up, shoulders down, and then you've got a nice alignment to then take your hands back down. And that way, you're not overreaching with the shoulders back and down, but you are in a nice middle alignment with the body. Obviously, we have to look at other little things as well to do with the voice, but you know, that is just going to be maybe she's like preparing for something. I know that sort of feels like a bit very striving sort of song, especially with those strings sort of in the background there. Let's just watch that a little bit of that again because we're hearing a slight amount of breath in her sound, which is just so awesome, but difficult to create over such a long period of time.
Just need and I want 1,000 miles to prove it. And I'm caught in the crossfire of my own thoughts. The color of my blood is all I see on the rocks as you sail from me.
And so, you know, you feel like you can hear a bit of breath, but I was just thinking, you know what, Zoe, it's like typical, right? Like she's doing probably quite low volume and that you can hear a good amount of vocal fold closure going on there. So there isn't a shitload of breath coming through the sound. And this is a huge mistake that people make when they're singing Ellie Goulding songs is they think it's like, and I know, because you kind of hear the breath and you think that there's loads of it in there. But the thing is that a microphone is designed to actually, make everything that you put into it even louder. So we're hearing the breath louder as let's just keep going. I'll stop stopping in the same position.
On the rocks as you sail from me. A love so real.
Okay, so this is where you can really hear that Ellie Goulding sound. Now, this is where you need to make the decision as an artist what sound you actually want to be creating. And some sounds, I hate using the word healthy. I don't really think that there is, like, honestly, it's up to you whether you decide to make these sorts of sounds. There are a couple in here where I'm like, But I'm not Ellie Goulding's singing teacher, and there would be some certain exercises that I would get her to go through to make sure that the vocal folds are staying in really like tip-top pristine condition. So, you know, she's had a long career. She's doing well for herself. And everybody can, as I say, everyone can make these decisions for themselves. So let's go back and look at this. And I'm not poo-pooing Ellie Goulding whatsoever, but I just want to point out some of the things that I know a lot of singers try and replicate and maybe why it's not going well for them. Okay, and this is, I also have to say, this is really not the way that I sing, so this is not going to sound remotely as beautiful as her. Yeah, but it's like an idea of what she's doing. Okay, so you hear here. So hail my life. So hail my life. And this is like very Ellie Goulding sound, right? So what we've got there is essentially there's not a lot of pitch in there, and it's really a lot of constriction going on. So it's a closing of the air. The vocal folds are practically open, and it's closing of the throat. So hail my life. But like a huge amount of air is being pushed through the sound. Now, again, Ellie Goulding can do whatever she wants. This is also very like a signature part of her sound. She's had a long career. She sounds beautiful. One of the downsides of pushing this much air through the vocal folds is that they tend to dry out, and also it can cause coughing with a lot of singers. Now, coughing we don't want, obviously. She's not coughing, so like go for gold. But I would just say do these sounds with a little bit of sensitivity to the fact that like what is going on within the throat. If you feel scratching, catching, or coughing, stop immediately, drink some water. The waves will break every chain. They go, every chain on me. That's very thin vocal fold. We had a good amount of vocal fold closure there. We had a good amount of sound. And what I always say to my singers, like there was a good core to the sound. And that's something that's so important to train into the voice, because I know what you're looking for. I hear this every single time my studio singers are like, I want more volume. I want more resonance. I want more presence. I want to like sound bigger. I want a fuller voice. And that's something that we need to work on, is the vocal fold closure in order to really get that core in the sound. And that's why I have a free 3-day challenge for you. It's down in the description below that you can download. I take you through the first 3 singing lessons that I take all of my students through here live and online inside my online singing school. And honestly, once you get really good vocal fold closure, like I feel like I'm very Italian in this moment. Once you get good vocal fold closure, I'm not Italian, you will be able to sing much higher. And that's right. My flesh will bleed, or whatever. She's gone to a very light, even, I wouldn't say that's my flesh will bleed. I really think that's thin vocal folds. Just a tiny bit of breath coming through there. So hail my lifeless friend to breathe. And God knows I'm not dying, but I breathe now. And God knows it's the only way to heal now. We follow, but I'm lost with you. Gosh, okay, she's just such a fabulous singer. And again, this is so important when you, like, especially if you're looking for a singing teacher, like, you need to make sure that you don't just have someone who just goes, well, everything you do is shit, yeah? So it's really about looking at what do you want as an artist and what are you actually trying to achieve, okay? Let's just go back on that, because there was a couple of things. Okay, So we are seeing, and God knows, and we've got this chin coming forward there. Now that's telling us a couple of things. That's telling us that firstly, that there is a certain degree of tension going on here, and we raise the head in order to try and release that tension here in the root of the tongue and at the back of the throat. Now, again, that's not dangerous in any way, shape, or form, but sometimes it's not wanted. If you're singing musical theatre, then you might not want that for your character, but it doesn't matter with Ellie Goulding singing pop stuff. So we've got this, and you notice that beat now, she goes back down, okay? Because when we take the head back, and I'm not saying to tuck the chin, but this will stop the thyroid cartilage here where the vocal folds live. This is the thyroid cartilage, or the Adam's apple there. When we lift the chin, that's going to stop the thyroid cartilage from tilting forward. So we can go into that quite compressed kind of, not really sure what vocal quality we would call that, but there is not a lot of vocal fold closure going on there, but we need the thyroid cartilage for that beat now, and that's why when we bring the chin back, that's going to help the thyroid, it's going to allow the thyroid cartilage to then tip forward to allow her to go up into those higher notes. So she's using her body quite nicely actually there to allow and allow and disallow the sounds, whatever.
So hell, my life is ready to breathe. And God knows I'm not.
I just wanted to stop here. I know I haven't got very far into the song, but I really love to see I don't like to comment on people's tummies, but this is just a really perfect dress that she's wearing for us to have a little look at what's actually going on with her breathing. Let's just watch this again.
And God knows I'm not saying, but I breathe now.
Okay, so we can see there considerably that the dress has gone flat. The abdominal muscles have been pulled in there, and you can see a light movement. Let's just watch that again.
Life is ready to breathe. And God.
Did you see that? Like a really small movement. And God knows. Okay, again, the sound is not like native to my voice, yeah? So we've got this little impulse in there. And when we are going higher up in the range, and to be honest, I'm not really sure what I would call this voice quality. I really feel like it's a very little vocal fold closure, probably thick vocal folds with a lot of air being thrown through them, so like a chest voice sound. And therefore, we're going to need a lot of pressure within the thoracic cavity. That's this bit here where the lungs live and the heart. And so we're going to need a lot of pressure here underneath the vocal folds in order to even make a sound for that. So that's why we're seeing that little bit of impetus there in the stomach. And then you can see that I'm a dying bird. So I really feel like that. And again, look, this is just my observations from what I'm seeing, as well as the muscularity in the arms. There's a decent amount of tension going on here at the front as she's pulling down. Okay, but I can't 100% be sure unless I go, hey, Ellie, what you doing with your abs? Yeah, but we're seeing that this increase in the pressure there. Now, I do not recommend that anyone does a half crunch when they are singing. This has to be looked at on a really individual one-to-one basis. We look at this with you inside my online singing school, the Vocal Academy. You can apply for one-to-one training down in the description below, because it isn't just about just going, huh! That would be like the worst thing for your singing, to be honest.
I breathe now, and God knows it's the only way to heal now. We follow, but I'm lost with you. It tries to love, I thought I knew.
But you can see, look at this, just like beautiful jaw position. Just beautiful. I mean, she's moving, but also that's just part of the artistry, yeah? But we've got this just very economical, beautiful. She could probably sing this doing a handstand against the wall with her head cold. So we've got, she goes very quiet, higher, probably more of a falsetto sound there. But look in the way that she's singing them. I feel like the shoulders are going back and down.
Buried in my sleep for him, and this was the ecstasy of love forgotten, and I thought in the
almost feel like she was looking down at the words. Do you think? Maybe she was looking down at someone, maybe taking videos or something. I don't know. It's this beautiful, typical Ellie Goulding sound. You hear it, you're like, Ellie Goulding!
Your streams are buried in my sea for him.
Yeah, buried in my sea for him. I think she's got a higher larynx position, high tongue position, but quite a lot of constriction going on, but like a decent amount of air. This is probably like low volume, and I'm like shoving a whole bunch of volume through it. So I think the only way the sound is really sustainable, you can see the mic so close to her mouth. I think she's doing this very, very quietly.
And this was the ecstasy of love forgotten, and I thought in the gunfire of empty bullets of my high blood is all I see as you seal my soul from me.
She's so beautiful, isn't she? Just like beautiful singer. So we're seeing these short, sharp, high breaths as well from her. And I know that you've been told to like breathe low and all this sort of stuff. I need you to know, like come close, I need you to know that there are so many different ways to breathe for singing. And it is very much dependent what style you're singing in and what vocal quality you are singing in. Because those two things are what matters, because we can breathe low, we can breathe into our back, we can breathe really deep, we don't breathe into our stomachs, but the stomach does go out when we breathe for some types of breath. And for a lot of pop music, these short, sharp, high breaths are really all that we need because the phrases are so short. And I don't want you to be thinking about like pop music filling up with loads of air. We do those types of breathing exercises actually if we are looking to engage some more of those muscles needed for breathing. Breathing has to be really looked at on like a one-to-one basis. I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot. We're like halfway through the song. This is what happens after I take a break. I just like wax lyrical and forget that I need to be a little bit quicker with my analyses. Whatever.
Feel my soul from me. A lazoing for eternity. The waves will break every chain on me. And God knows I'm not dying, but I bleed now. And God knows it's the only way to live now. With all the blood I lost with you.
We're seeing there these wide open, there we go. This is the thing. It's all about being able to do a whole bunch of different stuff and make the decision for yourself. So of course she can get thicker vocal folds, none of that constriction going on. This is just what she likes in her own sound. We're going to go back and watch this still right here because you can see we've got a high back, raised chin, arm is out here. That body's working. Look at those biceps. Love it. And we can see these muscles, sternocleidomastoids, they are the stabilizer muscles for the head and neck. So what we're wanting to do there is we're stabilizing, well, she's stabilizing through here to be able to sing in that now slightly louder sound higher up in the range. Just watch that. Whoa. I start all my singing exercises on an A section. I really should have. I just always hit an A immediately. That was literally massive fluke.
Break every chain on me. And God knows I'm not dying, but I bleed now. And God knows it's the only way to live now. With all the blood I lost with you. It tries to love I thought I knew.
Okay, so we see there as well. Look, you heard her. She did a perfectly beautiful, it's all beautiful, thicker vocal fold sound further up on the range. Okay, and she even went higher, so we know that she can do it. This is an artistic choice. Yeah. So we are also hearing here more vocal fold closure. Can you hear that there's less breath, less constriction in the sound? She's a little bit louder. Microphone's further away from the mouth. We're getting this more intensive movement as well through the body. That's also a sign. We can kind of fake the energy on stage if we put more effort into our bodies and like keep the voice the same. It still gives that feeling of building in the song. So we're up on the C5. That from all of us. Let's just watch it again. There you go. And she's actually like reduced a bit of that constriction. With all the blood I lost with you. Yeah, where she's like sort of like doodling around that C5 there. With all the blood. Let's watch that again. With all the blood I lost with you. I lost with you. I lost with you. I thought I love Ellie Goulding. So when we're going with you, I thought, oh God, like I'm getting around. And go and we can sound beat now. This is so beautiful because what we're seeing now, beat now, and then she goes with all the love. Okay, essentially, you don't really like physiologically, you don't actually need to do that, but that's just the way that Ellie Goulding has kind of decided that that's what works for her, and that's absolutely fine. So it's important when you're watching these artists as well, like. I had a lesson with a singer the other day, and they were doing something that they said that they saw a singer do on their live videos, and the singer always does this particular thing, and it doesn't work for everybody. For this particular singer, it actually was really, really helpful that they had practiced it so much and that we did it, and it did it in the appropriate place, and it worked really. It was about the tongue position and singing, and that was really, really fantastic, but it doesn't always apply to everybody. So, take these sort of like live performances from artists of Ellie Goulding's level with a pinch of salt and go like, okay, well, I could try that out, but it's not like a must, okay? Because there is no one rule for everything. It's not like there's like one way to teach singing or one way to learn singing. And that's so important that you also if you are looking for singing lessons, that you get a teacher that is really interested and working in what are your goals, what are you actually wanting to achieve with your voice, but also what level are you at and what style are you singing. Because I think a lot of the time I see this so often that people go to singing lessons and they just think it's about singing like a whole bunch of karaoke, and it's really not. It's about working with the voice, working with what you've got, and also having it be actually individual, just rather than like a whole blanket thing. But that's what we do at the Vocal Academy, which is my online singing school. We have singing teachers that work with you one-to-one, and you come and join me for group coaching and group masterclasses as well to get feedback on your singing and learn really, really specific techniques like I'm talking about in this video, so you can apply down in the description below. Oh my goodness, Ellie Goulding though. I don't know if I've had a look at her on the channel, to be honest, but I'm so excited to see that she's back performing. I am pumped. Let me know down in the comments what you think I should have a look at next. And if you haven't already done it, subscribe to the channel. I would love to see you around here more often. It really does help me to help more singers like yourself with their vocal technique. Check out some more amazing artists up here. I'm going to have a look. What goes with Ellie Goulding? Not quite sure. I'll put it up here. Have an awesome rest of your day and happy singing. Ka kite anō.